going to show you how to create sparklines and also some data bars. The data bars, we're going to be using the conditional formatting. We worked with that a little bit last week. I'm going to show that to you again and add some new things to it. So first let's start with the sparklines. If you recall, we had the sectors. Okay, this was the data that we used to do our clustered column chart. But over here we're going to create what we call sparklines. And the sparklines, I'm going to just hit on the insert key, are over here. And basically they are like mini charts. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to use all of this information, the sector history for the New Century Fund, and we're going to create little mini charts right over here. So it's a great way to give a quick view of the information. So what we first do is we select where the data is going to land. A little different than what we've been doing with the regular charts. We selected our data first. This time what we're doing is we're selecting the cells where the mini sparklines are going to end up. Okay? Then we specify what type of a sparkline we want. Now it asks us, what is your data range? So the data range is found here in the sector history. And we're just going to select the data. We're not going to bother with the dates. And so we're going from B6, we're scrolling all the way on down. So again, I just click and drag my mouse, and I'm going all the way down to M45. Okay? So it's B6 through M45, and this is where they're going to end up. So I'm going to say OK. And so here we get these sparklines. So again, just like little mini charts. You can change what it looks like. But before we do that, actually, I want to show you, if you take a look at this, you can highlight your first point and your last point, which I think those are pretty evident, so you don't really need that. You can add markers, but way too many to add. But what I like to do is I like to add the high point and the low point. So if you hit the down arrow now, you might want to select something where the highlight point and the low point are really highlighted. All right, so the green is the high point and the red is the low point. So you can see kind of like where your data is at. I'm also going to show you how to do data bars and then how to format them a little bit. So we did some data bars last week, and I'm going to show that to you again. Conditional formatting and data bars. Oops, let's highlight the data first. So we're going to highlight this data. I'm going to say conditional formatting, and we're going to add some data bars. This time we're going to do a solid fill, a solid blue. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Conditional formatting, and I'm going to add that solid blue. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to edit this conditional formatting. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on conditional formatting. I'm going to say manage rules. I actually added two different rules. So if you click on this worksheet, you'll see them both. You could have highlighted this whole area and made it one rule. It does not really matter how you do it, but basically what we want to do is we want to highlight this now. We want to edit the rule. Okay, so we're fine with it being a solid color, but what we want to do is instead of leaving the maximum number being automatic, we want to set that to be a number, and we don't want it to go over that 40%. So I'm going to make it 0.4. So instead of taking up the whole data bar, we basically want it to take up only part of it. We're going to do the same thing for this one. I guess it's kind of like a practice. You really could have done just one rule. I'm going to change the maximum number to change that to number. I'm going to make it 0.4. So let's say OK to these both. And so you see how now the data bars are just not as big. So it doesn't take up more than 40% of the actual cell. That's what you're basically doing. So the maximum is only taking 40% of the cell. Okay? And that is it for that.